So hi guys, we'll just wait for a few more people to join and then we'll start this amazing, session. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, we are audible now.
Okay. Hi the experiment lab. Hi, how are you? So we'll just wait for a few more people to join and then we'll start the PowerPoint. Yes, Pushpendra. Actually, we were having some technical issues. So yeah. So we have 9 viewers right now. We'll have some more and then we'll start. So guys, do you know what is the topic for today? Hello, SO creators. Hello, hello. How are you? Yes, ESP exactly. Yeah, the total session today will be about ESP. We'll be learning about it. Where is it used and how is it different from our Arduino and Raspberry Pi? So I think without any further ado, we should start the presentation. What's say, Omkar? Yeah.
Yes, yes, we should start.
Yeah, whatever the topic is, you will be telling good information. Thank you, EV Creative. So, hello guys, this is Pratmesh and this is Omka. We
Hello,
are
guys.
yeah, so we are from Robu and we'll be starting this presentation of what is ESP, where is it used, and how is it different from Arduino and Raspberry Pi. For those you might who might know, ESP is a module which is which we use, which hobbyist and project makers. If you are an intermediate project maker or a big expert project maker, you might know that ESPs are used widespreadly. तो उनका बहुत यूज होता है, बहुत जगह पे यूज होते हैं. बट बहुत लोगों को ये पता नहीं होता कि ESPs जो है वो एक्चुअली है क्या, ESP मॉड्यूल्स का यूज कहाँ पे होता है. और ये जो मॉड्यूल्स है, हाउ दे आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम आवर बेसिक आर्डिनो एंड रास्पबेरी पाई. तो हम लोग इसके अंदर we'll dive into it and we'll learn the concepts, we'll learn the history, and we'll learn how it has evolved during the total time span when it was started. So this is our index basically. So okay, we'll start the slide share here. So we'll be starting from what is basically an ESP and why ESP, comparison and future of ESP. So these things. So what's an ESP? So ESP is basically a chip, I'll say. So it started from Expressive making its first chip. So they started like way back basically. So when the chips were very new and it was made in Shanghai, China. So the first chips were made in Shanghai, China, and then they were spread out throughout, throughout the country. So the ESP chips जो होते हैं, जो आज की दुनिया में wherever they are used, like आज उनकी इतने डिमांड है, लाइक एक टाइम पे दे वर इवन लाइक facing so much challenges. So when the first ESP design in Shanghai, China, it was produced, so they were it themselves, they didn't know कि इस चिप की बेसिकली कैपेबिलिटीज कितनी है. So they just produced it. It was way back, like बहुत टाइम बाद like उनको पता चला in the future कि this chip has so many potentials in the industry as well as in the hobbyist market. And आज के days में like आपको पता होगा ESPs are used everywhere. So ESP is basically an ESP like Wi-Fi module, and it's also a microcontroller. So this microcontroller, like I don't know, basically is a microcontroller. It has several like peripherals. It has basic input and output functions and all that. So like ESP is basically like that. So the first ESP chip was ESP 8266. They started it in ESP 8266. And let's talk about the history. So like I said, it was first ESP chip was made by Expressive in Shanghai, China. लेटर ऑन अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ ईएसपी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो वो बहुत लाइक हिस्ट्री वी जस्ट लॉस्ट इट इन हिस्ट्री. तो बहुत लोगों को बहुत सारी कंफ्यूजन है रिगार्डिंग व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट नेम्स. कोई लोग उसको एआई थिंकर बोलते हैं, कोई उसको नोड एमसीयू बोलता है, तो कोई उसको लाइक एक्सप्रेसिव बोलता है. तो देयर इज लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन रूमर्स अराउंड दीज थिंग्स. सो हम लोग क्लैरिफाई करेंगे ये एक्चुअली स्टार्ट कैसे हुआ. So, like I said, जो बहुत पहले, like the first things, these chips were made like ESP 8266. तो जैसे ये चिप्स बने, नोड एमसीयू लाइक इट वाज ओपन सोर्स. तो जो कम्युनिटी थी उसके आजू बाजू, उन्होंने इस चिप्स के फॉर्मवेयर बनाने स्टार्ट कर दिए. लाइक फॉर्मवेयर बेसिकली मीन्स द कोड इनसाइड इट, हाउ इट विल वर्क. तो बहुत सारे लोग उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करने लग गए और बहुत सारे लोगों ने बहुत ध्यान दिया उस पर कि कैसे चल रहा है. और बहुत लोग फिर उसके बाद लोगों से बहुत सारी डिमांड आई कि आपने यार सॉफ्टवेयर तो बहुत बेटर बना लिया, बट वी ऑल्सो नीड द हार्डवेयर रिलेटेड टू इट. वाई? बिकॉज वो बहुत ऑसम प्रोडक्ट था. सो व्हाट दे डिड, द नोड एमसीयू, द कम्युनिटी बेसिकली, वो लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया मेकिंग दीज हार्डवेयर अबाउट लाइक डिजाइनिंग द बेसिक हार्डवेयर अराउंड इट. तो उनके पास सॉफ्टवेयर पहले से रेडी था एंड देन दी हार्डवेयर ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड. कुछ टाइम बाद ऐसे हुआ कि जो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटर्स थे, जो भी इस पे कंटिन्यूसली दे वर ट्राइंग टू मेक द नोड एमसीयू एंड द कंप्लीटली ईएसपी, दे लॉस द इंटरेस्ट. सो इंडिविजुअल क्रिएटर्स ने उसमें पोटेंशियल देखा एंड इट जस्ट स्टार्टेड, द वर्क जस्ट स्टार्टेड. फिर लेटर ऑन द एआई थिंकर, जो कि एक अमेरिकन कंपनी थी बेसिकली, तो उन्होंने इस एक्सप्रेसिव के चिप को अपने तक लिया एंड दे वाइड स्प्रेड इट, मतलब दे मेड इट फेमस बेसिकली. तो उन्होंने इसके मॉड्यूल्स बनाए. Like you can see on the upper hand we have the AI thinker and in the middle we have the node MCU. तो AI thinker ने इन चिप्स को लिया और इसके छोटे छोटे ऐसे मॉड्यूल्स बनाए. तो ये मॉड्यूल्स हर जगह ऑपरेट हो सकते थे, लाइक इन इंडस्ट्री, इन प्रोजेक्ट मेकिंग. तो अगर आप कोई भी ESP 8266 लाइक मॉड्यूल अभी ले रहे हो लाइक, तो यू माइट रिमेंबर दीज लोगो AI थिंकर. एंड जब एआई थिंकर बहुत ही प्रोमिनेंट हो गया, बहुत लोगों की डिमांड आ गई, तो जब एक्सप्रेसिव कंपनी को पता चला कि मॉड्यूल्स भी बहुत ज्यादा लाइक सेल हो रहे, देयर इज सेल्स, दे स्टार्टेड प्रोड्यूसिंग देयर ओन चिप्स. तो दिस इज वेरी अर्ली, लाइक अभी बेसिकली बहुत कम टाइम हुआ है एक्सप्रेसिव को लॉन्च होके. एआई थिंकर ने लाइक started even when the chip itself was designed by expressive. So later on what happened is these companies, Espressif and AI Thinker, they started to produce boards. So Node MCU was out of the complete game. Still, the design itself is used everywhere. The firmware itself is used in a lot of places. But the core thing is that the board making is just like right now it's limited to basically AI Thinker and Espressif. So AI Thinker sometimes they take their own modules, Wi-Fi module, and sometimes they take it from the Node MCU itself. So sometimes आपने ऐसे नेम देखे होंगे AI Thinker Node MCU ESP8266 module, and people get confused like AI Thinker क्या है, ESP8266 क्या है, and Node MCU क्या है. So these things are like pretty vague. बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता थी. So I just thought like I should share this. लाइक वाई ESP, दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. और सबसे पहले साइड में यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक ESP32 है. तो बहुत लोगों को पता होगा कि ESP32 जो है वो ESP8266 का एडवांस वर्जन है. तो जैसे ही आई थिंकर को लाइक हमारी एक्सप्रेसिव कंपनी को पता चला कि ESP8266 है जो बहुत प्रोमिनेंट है और बहुत जगह पे चल रहे हैं, दे स्टार्टेड प्रोड्यूसिंग दिस ESP32 चिप्स, जो कि पावर में और लाइक बहुत सारे फीचर्स में ESP8266 के भी लाइक बहुत ऊपर थे. So these chips also started revolving around the market. हमको ESP chips basically क्यों यूज करने चाहिए आज की डेट में when the world is moving forward? Wireless is the key, right? You all might agree with me on this thing. So ESP are used in basic IoT applications, Internet of Things. Internet of Things is basically when we connect all the devices around us in one framework. So ESP chips are used there. DIY games, basically projects, all kinds of projects are made on ESP chips. So this is one of the main things which are produced to this, and also security systems. अगर आपको पता होगा ESP32 के अराउंड एक प्रोडक्ट है विच इज ESP32 कैम. सो दिस देयर आर मेनी प्रोजेक्ट्स विच आई सॉ जिसमें हम ESP32 कैम का यूज करके सर्वेलेंस सिस्टम्स बना रहे. So that is also a thing nowadays. So these are basically the applications क्यों आप ESP यूज कर रहे हो. और ESP जो है एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग कंटेंडर है, मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ. माइक्रो कंट्रोलर जब आप बोलते हो, एक स्पेशलाइज्ड माइक्रो कंट्रोलर की जब आप बात करते हो, तो ESP इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स we should all consider before going into anything because it's so easy to work with if you are buying a development board and you can do so much with it. It has so much power and potential. So let's see some of the examples of ESP projects. So here we have one of the home automation system at the top. This one is a ESP based drone. So basically, this is a Wi-Fi based drone. The third is a weather station, and the fourth one is a health monitoring system. So just for beginners, I'll say when you say IoT, basically it means that this data which is taken from all these sensors right now will be sent to a specific location, maybe on the app. The Wi-Fi module here, like ESP module, will connect to your phone's hotspot and it will send data to remotely. It may be a cloud, it may be an app, anywhere. So I like ESP modules are very prominent whenever you're talking about IoT. Yeah, let's compare this between the main three. So many people will be like, when to use Arduino? तो हमको कैसे पता चलेगा Arduino कब यूज करना है, कब Raspberry Pi यूज करना है, कब ESP यूज करना है? तो तीनों में बहुत सारे डिफरेंसेस हैं. लाइक Arduino is a general purpose microcontroller board. तो जब भी आप जनरल पर्पस माइक्रो कंट्रोलर बोर्ड्स की बात करते हो, इट मीन्स दैट आप कोई भी एप्लीकेशन ले लो जिसमें स्पेशलाइज्ड इक्विपमेंट पेरिफेरल्स की जरूरत नहीं है. Arduino में ब्लूटूथ नहीं है. Likewise Arduino में वाईफाई मॉड्यूल लाइक वाईफाई नहीं है. यू हैव टू गेट Arduino Rev 2 आई थिंक बिकॉज इट हैज इनबिल्ट वाईफाई. सो थिंग्स लाइक दैट. Arduino एक बहुत जनरल पर्पस माइक्रो कंट्रोलर है और बेसिकली उसका यूटिलिटी बहुत अलग है, विच मीन्स यू कैन कनेक्ट इट टू अदर मॉड्यूल्स which exactly supports 5 volt and 3.3. It supports both. So other modules in a general way basically means you can connect it to a Bluetooth module if you have one. You can connect it to a ESP module. It will work everywhere. Similarly अगर हम like Raspberry Pi की बात करें तो Raspberry Pi is a microprocessor based computer. तो इन दोनों की लाइक यू माइट नो कि जो मेन ट्रीज में रास्पबेरी पाई है, इट्स नॉट इवन अ कंट्रोलर, इट्स बेसिकली अ कंप्यूटर. तो उसको यही सोच के बनाया गया था कि दिस विल बिकम लाइक basically a computer for those who cannot afford it. So it's a non-profit organization. So it's made by an organization, Raspberry Pi. So जब आप बात करते हो रास्पबेरी पाई फुल्ली फ्लेश कंप्यूटर है. जब आपको कैमरा की जरूरत होगी, जब आपको डिस्प्ले की जरूरत होगी, जब आपको वेब सर्फिंग करनी है, जब आपको एक पूरा कंप्यूटर चाहिए और बहुत सारी प्रोसेसिंग स्पीड लाइक 1.4 गीगाहर्ट्ज इज ऑफ द लाइक क्लॉक हर्ट्ज स्पीड ऑफ रास्पबेरी पाई. जब आपको बहुत सारी प्रोसेसिंग स्पीड चाहिए होगी, यू यूज रास्पबेरी पाई. जब आपको एक जनरल पर्पस माइक्रो कंट्रोलर चाहिए जहाँ पे आप सब कुछ एक्सटर्नली लाइक कनेक्ट कर पाओ, तब आप Arduino पे जाओगे. बट ESP कब यूज करना है? ESP हमें तब यूज करना है जब वी स्पेशली नीड लाइक वाईफाई. बेसिकली वी नीड मोर रैम, we need more or like flash memory and everything. So these things are all. And also the most amazing thing कि आप ESP मॉड्यूल को Arduino के इंटरफेस में भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. लाइक Arduino IDE में आप उसे प्रोग्राम कर सकते हो. I did several of my projects in ESP, so I know because one of my projects was IoT smart energy monitoring system जहाँ पे I take the current sensors data and send it to a cloud. So projects like these where we need to send data wirelessly through Wi-Fi, there you can get you can buy a ESP module. So it's all up to you. Okay, so let's talk about how to choose ESP module for your project. तो ESP module में basically दो ही चीजें हैं. One is the ESP 8266 and the other is ESP 32. So difference क्या है basically? So when you're talking about ESP 8266, it is the first model which is created. तो ESP 8266 में आपको एक सिंगल कोर CPU मिलता है which is 160 MHz. There are basic peripherals. इसको भी आप बहुत सारी चीज़ों के लिए यूज कर सकते हो. But when you're talking about ESP 32, तो ESP 32 के अंदर you get two cores or maybe multi cores. So when you're talking about intermediate projects or expert projects, or like if you need more processing speed, or maybe if you need to connect a camera, so things like that, you can go and get yourself a ESP32. So these are the things where ESP, how you can choose your ESP module. It is basically if I need a Wi-Fi, and secondly if I need a camera or a better processing speed. So Raspberry Pi you can go, but Raspberry, if you need, just if you need this much, you can like you'll just question me, Pratmesh, we can also buy a Raspberry Pi, but the cost of Raspberry Pi is way more when you compare it to an ESP32. Like if you just need this much. Also, ESP32 has an inbuilt like Bluetooth system with the Wi-Fi. So if you want the Bluetooth, you can also use it too. So this is that. Let's talk about the future of ESP. So as we know, we are moving towards, like we are moving, wireless has become the main thing, the most important thing. Everywhere you go, IoT is going to become a main thing. All your devices in your home, your microwave and your TV and your smartphone, everything will be connected through a web of networks. So ESP modules are going to play a very important role. Also, in the coming time, they like Arduino Uno, when they sold 10 million units, they made us a little Arduino Uno Mini. So I'm saying the size has been like reduced, frankly. So also it will happen in the ESP module. I'll say the size will reduce with time, and also the efficiency and the performance of the complete processor, like the complete ESP microcontroller, will remain same. So we just need to see what happen and where the journey takes us. Basically, everywhere where we need Wi-Fi, where we need connectivity, where we need IoT, ESP would be there. There is actually no real alternative for that. So one question for all of you guys, make a guess. How many ESP8266 chips would be in the world currently? There is no official data. Like I said, Arduino just posted their data about Arduino Unos. They sold 10 million. But what do you think? How many ESP8266 chips would be in the world currently? There is no official data by ESP. Just make a guess in the chat section. And that's it. So here we end our complete session about ESP. So thank you all guys, thank you all of you for being here and for listening to me. And if you have any more questions, you can ask me in the chat section. I'll answer them right now. And that's it. Omkar will be like asking me a few more questions which you guys asked in the chat. And some of the questions are from Instagram, so we'll be looking at them.
Yeah, so the question that you asked, that how many ESPs have been sold till now.
Mm.
So people are, guessing like 100K units, 100,000, 20 million units.
Wow.
That's a lot of ESPs right
That's
there.
even more than Arduino.
Yeah. Oh, one is saying 50 million.
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, means
What more do we have?
100 billion. One is asking like, can you tell us more about Raspberry Pi Pico? Like that was not in this topic.
Okay, so the
So how would you
Raspberry,
compare the Raspberry Pi Pico with these three?
yeah, I'll say Raspberry Pi Pico is more like, I'll say it's a different microcontroller. Like I said now, like Arduino is a general purpose microcontroller. Raspberry Pi Pico itself is a general purpose microcontroller, but it's when you see the data sheet, when you'll see the complete specs, it's a lot different in the processing speed, in the number of cores, basically in the peripherals, you'll say. So like these things. So you can compare Arduino and Raspberry Pi Pico, but also Pico doesn't have Bluetooth, inbuilt Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So I'll say, like I said, if you need connectivity, you go to ESP. If you need a strong general purpose robust microcontroller, you'll go to Arduino. Also, Arduino has a big support community. So if you're stuck anywhere, you'll get help easily.
Yeah. And thank you for the information, Prathamesh. There's one more question that Daksh is asking, like, sir, can you please tell about Pixar?
Currently, I think this is a topic for another day. We'll be having a session for that for Pixar, flight controllers. So we'll be doing that. No worries.
Okay, that's another good question here. Think and Develop is asking, where STM32 controllers are used, what is the difference?
Okay. So the thing with STM32 microcontrollers, because I am I love embedded. So the STM32, I myself own a STM32 F407. So the STM microcontrollers, the main thing I love about STM is the huge number of input output pins, and also the processing speed. STM32's microcontrollers like STM32 are used where the coding you require is not through HAL. So when I talk about HAL, it means that Arduino is very easy to learn because it hides the complete intricate complexity from you. Well, that is not the case with things like STM32 because that works efficiently. The Arduino programs are not very efficient when you talk about it. But no, that is not the case with STM32. You can make it like way faster. The efficiency, the performance is way quicker when you code it in C and go through that way. Also, the number of pins and basically and like it's also like I'll say you can connect it to how every microcontroller is basically somewhat a general purpose. I'll say we can add more features like STM32, Arduino, and Pico. So you can add LCD maybe later. You can add sensors, actuators, LCD panel if you require them. But I'll say it is way more efficient if you go through the IDE way. Like it is programmed to CubeMX IDE, but while speaking about Arduino and HALS, it is a little less efficient. It's the speed is very less. The speed we get is very less.
Okay. So one more question, not a question.
Mhm.
Mohammed has said that STM32 microcontrollers and ARM microcontrollers would be different.
Mhm.
Please compare various boards of STM32.
Okay. So I'll be getting back to it maybe. Maybe in the next session we'll be doing STM32 and ARM. So you can stay tuned for that. Currently, because we are going into ESP. So any questions regarding ESP will be good. Yeah?
Yes, guys, as customer said, that any questions regarding ESP or the which three microcontrollers we compared, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, as well as ESP. So anything regarding that would be good. So one more question. No, the questions are all about Peacock
Okay.
and other YouTube videos. So, guys, I request you to ask questions regarding to ESP32 or
We can
ESP826,
dive into the
anything.
Instagram questions if you like. है ना?
Yeah, okay, so as Prathamesh said, there were few questions which I noted down from the live stream that you guys have asked. Like one guy asked, what is the pulse like symbol at the node MCU? Like the bottom, we have the pulse like symbol.
Is it? I'll just check.
Node MCU, node MCU.
Okay. I'm really not sure about that currently. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about it. So I'll just get back to you with it. You can yeah, I just noticed this one. So
Yes.
I'll just get back to you on my Instagram handle. You can just message me, but I'll surely figure out and let you know.
So as we requested you guys to ask questions, so we really appreciate that you guys listen to us. And there are so many ESP32 MCs.
Mhm.
Confused which one to pick.
Yeah. So what I can tell you that you can search ESP chips on the internet on Google, and you can go through various. You'll see the first thing is ESP's complete data. There is a data about all the ESP chips. Like you have ESP8266. In ESP32, basically you have variety like room S, room D, basically a lot of things. So what is different is their specs. So you need to check. This is not really, I'll not say that it is not for beginners because beginners don't need much of when you talk about these peripherals. If you are a beginner, you can choose any of it and it will work. But if you are going into, like, I'll say, deeper programming, like if you are coding it through base C from the expressive IDE basically, so that's when you need those peripherals, those extra peripherals. So each of these chips have some sort of different specifications. Some might have some different PWM, some might not have Bluetooth, some might have, but Wi-Fi is constant. But the peripherals and the other thing is the Bluetooth and everything, they might be different. So you might check on that. That's on their website.
So another question is, can you do home assistance using ESP32?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can basically.
Okay.
Hmm.
Other question that Think and Developers asked that ESP IDF is open source.
Yes, it is open source. I'll say yes, it is. It's free. I have used it. I'm not sure if it is open source, but I know that it works because I have worked on it.
Okay. So Afzal Mohammed has asked another question. What is the recommended power supply with amps rating for ESP32?
Recommended power supply meaning input. So I'll say you can use a 5 volt USB basically if you are attaching it through USB. Uh, and recommended amperes basically it doesn't really matter what amperes you are giving because ESP will only take whatever it requires.
Okay. There's another question like how can we control ESP from anywhere in the world?
Okay. From anywhere in the world, I am really not sure about that currently, so I'll not answer it.
Okay.
But I'll just look into it. I'm sure.
We'll surely get back to you in the next live stream. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed till now, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell icon. So, whenever we go live, you get notified first. Another question that DIY Robotronics has asked, ESP01 की uses के बारे में बताओ.
ओके सो ESP01 आप कहीं पे भी यूज़ कर सकते हो बेसिकली जहाँ पे आपको वाईफाई चाहिए मैं जैसे बता रहा था आपको तो अगर आपको होम ऑटोमेशन करना है अगर आईओटी के रिलेटेड कोई भी करना है हेल्थ मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम आईओटी हेल्थ मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम जैसा कुछ करना है सो वेर एवर आई से यू नीड आईओटी यू कैन इवन कंट्रोल ड्रोन्स थ्रू इट तो आप वाईफाई मोबाइल ऐप के थ्रू लाइक अपने हॉटस्पॉट के थ्रू आप डेटा भेज भेज सकते हो और रिसीव कर सकते हो सो या फिर एक रिमोट कंट्रोल कार आरसी कार्स लाइक आई सेड बहुत सारी उसकी यूजेस है ईएसपी मॉड्यूल्स के.
Okay. One more thing, guys. Any questions or suggestions related to product shipment or anything like that, or adding some products in a list, it are being getting addressed by our purchase engineers, by our backend team. So it's not like we are ignoring you. It's just that we are trying to stick to this topic, which we are live right now for ESP and other development boards as Prathamesh defined. So
Exactly.
guys, don't feel ignored. We are addressing your comments. We are addressing your questions. So just be patient, and if you have any problem, contact a customer support team. They will surely help you out.
Yeah, you can raise a ticket at info@robu.in.
Yes.
They'll surely help you.
Yes. So another question Kunal has asked: are GPIOs on ESP8266 tolerant?
No, they are 3.3 volt tolerant. Everything on ESP works on 3.3 except the USB input power. So they have a I'll say they have a 5 volt input which and they have a linear voltage regulator through which they power the whole their MCU. So they are all 3.3 volt tolerant. I'll say.
Okay, so the last question that I'm gonna ask from the YouTube section
Mm.
is from Sri Kumar. Can you
Okay.
suggest a mobile app to interface with ESP?
There are lot of apps. I'll say you just like you can use directly Blink. So Blink is a good app whenever you are trying to take data or give any input through ESP. So that will work for you. Also, there are a lot of tutorial videos. If you want us to make some tutorial videos, maybe you can just tell us in the chat section or in the comment section. If you need any more tutorials about any of our product on Robu or anything else, any project, any fun project you want to make, you can just let us know, and that's it.
Okay, yes. So can we connect ESP with Pixar?
I think I am not sure about that because I have not done it. But if you if you are designing your own flight controllers, I'll say, then you can surely do anything. But I'm not sure if we can do that.
Okay.
It
So
can happen, but I'm not just sure.
So let's move on to our Instagram chat section.
Okay.
So the first question is, what is the full form of ESP? Is there any full form for ESP?
So as far as I know, Expressive just named it ESP. I think it is expressive. It should be expressive, but I'll just pass on this question because I'm not sure about it.
Okay. So another question, getting started with free RTOS.
Okay.
So it's not like a question, but Kamal has just stated that getting started with free RTOs.
Yes, if you want tutorials like Manoj just said, like free RTOs on ESP32 or ESP8266, you can just let us know in the chat section, and we'll make videos on that, with tutorial videos on that.
Okay. Again, one more guy asked, I have knowledge about Arduino and Raspberry. What is this ESP?
Okay, so like I said, there are three basic mains which I think every beginner should know if they are entering into embedded microcontrollers. So Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and ESP. So like I explained before, Arduino is a general purpose microcontroller. Raspberry Pi is a fully fledged processor based computer, while ESP you use whenever you need Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity. So ESP is also a microcontroller which you can use, and it comes with Wi-Fi, and it is cheaper than Raspberry Pi.
Okay, so Akash Verma says the driver's not detecting the ESP.
Okay. The thing is, newer, if, like I said, many companies made their own ESP boards, right? So what happens is when there is so much conundrum, there is so much confusion. Drivers come in two different variants. One is CP2102, another is CH340, I guess. So these drivers you can search on Google and install it on your Windows device, and then you can try it. If you still don't get like the response you need from your ESP board, you can just ping us on Instagram and we'll take care of.
Okay. Surya Teja Gadam, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Sorry if I'm not. Asked how can we program ESP826's ESP01 module?
Okay, like ESP01 itself.
Yes.
Okay, so as far as I know, you can just program it using Arduino also. There is a tutorial video. I'll just link it in the description if you need it. Okay, so there is basically ISP what we call. So you can program it through that and you can load the program into the ESP module. So that's it.
Yeah. And Krishna asked which is better, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, or ESP. So Krishna, if you want to know the answer of this, you can just rewind the stream and you'll get it in full detail by Prathamesh himself. So the next question is from Advait. Tell us more about ESP IDF and is it worth learning? Your opinion, please.
Okay, so basically expressive IDE you can use. So the thing with expressive IDE is you can program it in various languages. So I'll say they have support for various languages. You can like you might know that C is more efficient than any other. Like you can speak Python, Lua. The ESP8266, the firmware itself is written in Lua. So like the more bare metal you go, the more efficient you will be. So yeah, it is worth checking out because it will increase the scope of knowledge you have.
Okay. Another question Ritesh asked, do you have ESP32 4 MB RAM version? How's your experience with that? Have you used it?
Not as of now. I have used ESP32 CAM, but I'm not sure what version you are talking about because there are various versions, like someone said in the live stream. For that, you can just ping us on Insta, and that's it.
Another question is again about Pixar. Can you make a proper tutorial on ESP board programming, please?
Yes, I can. I will surely.
Okay. Another question from Shubham is how to upload data from an ESP to your own app.
From an ESP to your own app. Okay, so basically, what I know, what I have done in the past, so like apps like Blink work very efficiently, and even more, there are more apps for ESP based microcontrollers, so you can try those. I'll not recommend making your own app, but you can if you want. You can, but I have not yet entered into that domain, by making your own app and everything. But you can try. There is also a thing, a website called as MIT App Inventor. If you might know, it's just for beginners. There's a drag and drop interface where you can make your own APK like applications, and they work on mobile phone. So that you can also check. It's awesome.
Okay, so another question is from Haldar Prajesh.
Okay.
How to connect multiple ESP in single code?
Mm-hmm.
Also, how reconnect Wi-Fi ESP if Wi-Fi off then on.
Okay, so I actually did a project like this. So you can just there are options in code where you can shut off a specific Wi-Fi if you require. You can just name them in two different ways like Wi-Fi 1 and Wi-Fi 2, and you can specifically close one of them, then give some delay for a few seconds, and then connect it again because hardware needs some time to shut off and shut on, so you need a little delay for that.
Okay, so our questions from Instagram have been answered for all. And also, guys, so meanwhile, while we were answering the Instagram questions, I've been looking in the YouTube chat section also. The questions have been addressed, and I'll ask Prathamesh if we have some few minutes, we can answer them if
Yeah,
you want.
sure, works
So,
works.
okay, we'll answer some questions for you
Hmm.
guys. Can you explain about MFI module? Is it ESP based board? Which software is used for program?
Okay, so basically ESP like I said, first the expressive chips were used by these three AI Thinker, Node MCU, and Expressive, and then they were built into boards. Like I'll say M5 Stack did that, and they did it in a more cooler way. Basically, they built a HAL, which is a drag and drop interface, and it's very easy. You can just program it through block programming. You can just check out our video on M5 Stack if you haven't liked, but it's amazing. Yes, it is ESP32 based mostly. So all the things which are used are on based on ESP32. It's very cool.
Okay, there's a suggestion from Mohammed. We need tutorial about making apps with MIT App Inventor for Arduino BLE/Wi-Fi projects.
Yeah, cool. Actually, I have done a few. I have built a few apps around Bluetooth. So I'll just do that for you if you need. So if more people comment in the chat section, we'll be making it soon.
Yes. Another Pranjit says, how can I enter in the IoT world and create interesting projects? I'm new to this world.
Okay. So if you need to enter into IoT, I'll say because I have a few people in IoT, I'll say get into ESPs first of all. Start from ESPs. Start making basic projects. Take data from like various sensors, upload it on some cloud maybe, and then work on Raspberry Pi, like boards like Raspberry Pi, where you can take sensor data and then send it to cloud services, different cloud services. There are various like AWS and everything, so you can work on that. ESP and Raspberry Pi, I'll say, if you want to work with cloud, are very important because they will be used wherever you go. And if you want a little more advanced, you can even move to Jetson Nano and everything. But I believe they are more used for machine learning and AI and GAN and everything. So computer vision basically.
Okay, so the last question for today's live stream, guys. Think and Develop asks, can we program ESP board in register level?
Yes, you can. Like I said, if you use the expressive ID or even the VS Code, you can do it. They have this specific set of plugins where you can program it in the language which you like C, and it will be more efficient because whenever you code in C, C is bare metal, as you know. It's more efficient than you coding it in wrapped C, which is Arduino IDE right now. It is in HAL, making things intuitive for you. So yeah, so, guys, this right now that's my answer, and I would love if you would let me know in the chat section how this session was. Give me some feedback and let me know, and suggest some topics for the next live stream which you want. And we'll be ending this session right now.
Yes,
Thank you.
guys. Yes, the all questions you asked were pretty good, amazing, and all were addressed, guys. We are not ignoring you, or we are not, letting your questions go away because your thoughts, your opinions matter to us. So yeah, that's the thing that I want to
Exactly.
end with. And also, guys, if you haven't shared this live stream with your friends, do make sure to share this live stream. This is a meaningful live stream from Prathamesh because he has a good knowledge about embedded and all this stuff. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Make sure to you press the bell icon, like this live stream, and yes, we'll be signing off right now.
And we'll be just ending the stream with our trademark. Stay
Stay
safe,
safe,
stay
stay tuned
tuned
at
at
Robu.in.
Robu.in.